Hey guys, we're out here and we're going to start bore sighting this rifle. I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. Super simple, easy way to get started. What I usually do is I remove the bolt. From there, look through the barrel of the gun and I'll adjust the gun until it's pointed right at a target. And as soon as that's at a target, I'll come up here to the turrets and I'll adjust the reticle so that reticle is right on that target. So it's a kind of rudimentary way of doing it, but it works.
Alright, so what I'm doing right now is I am looking through the bore, right through the barrel, putting the barrel and adjusting the gun so that barrel is I can look through the barrel and see the target. Once I can see the target through my barrel, that's when I'm going to start looking up through the scope then, and I'll see where the crosshairs lie. And then I'll adjust the turret so that the crosshairs move over right onto that target. And I'm going to start with a closer target. We're starting here at 25 yards. Once I'm on target at 25, then I go and I adjust a little bit, looking at where the hits are. I go out to 50, do the same thing. It might be over to the left, so I adjust once I'm at the 50 and get it right in the center, and then I go to 100. That's a good way to bore sight. You can do this indoors or outdoors. I'm just outdoors for now, just to get this bore sighted in.
Oh, that one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Little, I don't know if it's the wind or the ammo, but
Okay.
you see that one, right?
Yeah. So it's right. The impact to the left. So that was one mil. I need about 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if I can single load this bitch.
So I finished bore sighting the rifle, finally zeroed in at 50 yards, decided to bring it out to 100 yards. At this point, I'm shooting downhill. I didn't have a good, I couldn't use a bipod. I had to get on top of my friend's truck, and I basically used my arm to stabilize the rifle. So I'm not shooting off of a sandbag or anything. I'm basically kind of shooting offhand using a truck and using Remington core lock, the 150 grain Remington core lock. I shot these 2 rounds that you'll see right there. So I was pretty impressed with that at 100 yards, shooting offhand with Remington core lock. I was like, shit, that's not bad. That's under 2 inches, and with a horrendous Savage Axis trigger. So all those things considered, I was like, dang, this has some real potential. And that's when I wrapped up. Those are the last 2 rounds I had, and then I decided to call it quits that day. We were running out of light, so the next day I went to the range, and I'm going to show you the results from that coming up next. So then we made our way to the 100 yard. It's an indoor range. It was cold outside. Weather wasn't permitting. I hate indoor ranges. I hate any public ranges for the most part, because you have a lot of people there who can shoot you by accident. not the brightest people from my experience. Anyways, I had to use it. Got there. I was using my jacket as my rear sandbag for support. I had my bipod on at least this time, and I'm shooting the Federal Gold Match Sierra King, the 168 grain. So you'll see I have wonderful, all different kinds of angles here. Catch my glamour shots here, and I'm wearing flannel, shooting a gun. That's what it doesn't get any more manly than that. So I wanted to make sure that came out for this video. But anyways, I took a few groups here, and you're gonna see the results next. I was actually pretty shocked because I had botched the trigger job on this rifle, and I had to switch out and put another Savage Axis trigger in there from another Savage Axis rifle that I have. And surprisingly, I got pretty good groups, even with this really bad original Savage Axis trigger. And you're going to see that right next.
I finally got home and measured out all the groups. We were using like I wrote over here, the Federal 168 grain Sierra Match hollow point boat tail. I think it's called Gold Match, but it was a Sierra Match King bullets. I knew it was going to be that's usually a consistent round. I've shot the Federal Gold Match, the 69 grain Sierra King Match bullets in a 223, and very, very tight groups. So that's what I wanted to test, and I was just like, you know what, let me just go see what I can get. Like I said, the trigger on that Savage Axis is horrendous. I mean, it's bad. Just really, really bad. One of the worst triggers I've shot on a budget rifle. At least, with the Ruger American line, it's much easier to lighten it, to adjust it. The Savage Axis trigger just sucks. It's just bad. Very heavy. I tried lightening it, but it's a different style trigger. It's messed up. Anyways, first shot here, 0.87 of an inch, sub MOA. I only had 20 rounds through that rifle before I started shooting these, and I still got to create more of a little copper equilibrium there in that barrel, the barrel. But we're looking at these. I shot this one, then I shot this one. I pulled this one, right? Now we're looking at this. You'll be able to see the holes a little bit better. This one I pulled. I know I pulled that one. The trigger's it's just very heavy and shitty. Boom, boom, and then boom, I saw that one. I was like, whatever. I came down, I think over here. Same thing. Boom, boom, boom. Shot this nice little group. Boom. I pulled that one. I know I did. Sucks because that would have been a pretty nice looking group. Another sub MOA group. It would have been. It would have been either. That was probably 0.6 of an inch, 0.7 of an inch. That would have been really nice because you have the boom, boom, boom. I decided to shoot for this one. I don't know why. And I shot myself in the foot. No pun intended. Up here, nothing great. 1.4 inches. Actually, I think it's 1.5. Not great. Not great. But again, I rushed this one. And then I was like, shit, let me slow it down a little bit. Let me slow it down because this you can't really rush with that trigger. I slowed it down, and there's 3 holes. Boom, boom, boom. Two of which are touching. I got that in at between 0.68 and 0.73 of an inch. So that was the best group by far. And it just took me, I had to get used to the trigger. And once I did, even then the trigger's still fried. It's just awful. But I'm like, all right, slow down. Take your time here. I had 4 rounds left. So I shot another group here, and you can see very tight group, almost. I mean, it's right at an inch, almost 1.12, just slightly over MOA. So, listen, from what I've seen out of this rifle, when you slow it down, when you really put the fundamentals into it, and you're not rushing like I was before, you can get boom. Sub MOA. This one would have been over here. That one could have been because I pulled that one. So the majority of these groups could have been sub MOA. If I put a different trigger in it, I guarantee almost every single one of these groups were they'd be sub MOA. So you do your part, you get the rifle fundamentals down, and you can do it. That rifle is that's a sub MOA gun, no doubt about it in my mind. Just looking at it, and I'm thinking, all right, well, what's the next step? I wanted to take this out and shoot out far with it, just stock. But another part of me is saying, dude, if you put one of those Timney triggers in, I mean, you're gonna have a real hard to beat gun there. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that right now because I can either put in I can leave it stock and try to shoot it, see how far we can get it, and with these groups, I can easily see this will be 1,000 yards, not a problem, not a problem at all. I'm just saying, if we put a trigger in, if we put the Timney trigger in, it's not going to be stock anymore. It's not going to be a $269 gun. Now it's going to be, closer to $380 gun. So I don't know. I can do it. We could take it out there and shoot far with that stock trigger. It's just gonna suck. I'm not even used to, high-end triggers. I use the Ruger American trigger that you can self-adjust that one, and you can do a little bit better of a trigger job on that. That's a much better trigger. Oh my God, compared to this Savage trigger. And some of you might be like, oh, it's not that bad. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. That being said, even with that shit trigger, I was able to get 2 legitimate sub MOA groups here at 100 yards. This is all at 100 yards. I'm kind of torn. I think I'm going to leave it as it is. See how far we can push it. Afterwards, I'm going to throw in the Timney trigger because I just can't do it. I see the potential. I see the potential there, and it's you don't really need to be getting. I mean, if you see this right here, I mean, geez, that's try to get consistent ammo. If you're hand loading for it, yeah, I mean, you're gonna get really solid groups. You're shooting match ammo, even match ammo. You get the right match ammo. I'm looking at the Gorilla stuff, so that's pretty consistent. I like that stuff. And this seems to be in line with what I've seen. Mr. Guns and Gear did a review on the Savage Axis. I think his had a heavy barrel. Actually, I'm not too sure. But he was shooting the Gorilla stuff, and I think he got a sub MOA group as well. He was pleasantly surprised. Okay, well, I'm super excited. I don't know about you guys, but shit, getting these kinds of groups. I have a sub $300 gun. Come on. I just want to break that myth, that idea that you have to spend thousands on a gun to get sub MOA, guaranteed. Like these are pretty damn good groups. Yeah, if you have a Ruger Precision, you're gonna be hitting, half-inch groups. Fantastic, great. I didn't even have this on a sandbag. I mean, I had it on a bipod, and I had to use my coat because I didn't have a sandbag with me. So I had to use my coat as under my buttstock. And I was still able to get some solid groups. So I gotta really dial this in, and we're gonna have a really nice shooter on our hands, guys. I'm excited. All right, cool.